Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sampriti and I hope you all are doing fine. Your preparations are going well. Well, before diving into this video, I want to share my thankfulness, my gratefulness towards you because you people are messaging me, texting me, commenting on my video and mailing me saying that my videos are helpful for you and you are seeking my guidance and you are suggesting me topics to make my videos on, and I'm really grateful for that. It is really such a big gift for me to be able to help you all in your preparation for net set get and other competitive exams like that. In this video I'm going to do something different. Well, Indian English literature has really been very crucial in the recent UGC NET exams. They are focusing a lot on Indian literature, Indian English literature, Indian literature in translation, Indian literary theory, um, criticism, and cultural studies based on India. So this video is to make you all familiar with 10 must-read Indian literary figures that have really been very essential for UGC NET JRF. I told you in the previous video where I discussed my strategies of getting NET and with JRF this year. There I mentioned that to be updated with the recent trends and recent literary figures um, is very crucial when it comes to getting net, especially JRF. You need to be updated with whatever is going on in the field of English literature, be it in translation, be it in other regional languages, be it in like the whole of literature should be, I won't say in the palm of your hand because that would be an exaggeration, which is never possible. But you should have a certain kind of idea about whatever is happening around you, especially in the literary field. Who is getting the Nobel Prize? Who is getting the Booker Prize? Even the questions like who was nominated for Booker Prize has come. So you see, NTA is uh, uh, NTA is expecting you all to be updated with all of these things. Without further ado, let's dive into this video where I will discuss 10 must-read Indian literary figures for UGC NET JRF. Well, you must have ideas about important literary figures like in Indian English literature, like Mulk Raj Anand, R.K. Narayan, Raja Rao, Rabindranath Tagore. I should have mentioned his name in the beginning of the list, but I'm sorry I didn't. Well, poets like Todu Dutt, Michael Madhusudhan Datto, Kamala Das, and Meena Alexander. From Meena Alexander, one question came this year in NET. In SET also, Meena Alexander is very important. There are playwrights like Girish Karnad and Mahesh Dattani, Badal Sarkar, Vijay Tendulkar. Apart from all of them, there are other recent and uh, the former, the earlier literary figures who are not discussed so much, but they are very important from net point of view. So let's start this video. The first literary figure that I want to discuss is Manohar Malgonkar. It's not Mangolkar, it's Malgonkar. He was a very famous post-independence writer whose contribution to Indian writing in English is very important, and it's very important, immense. He was not only a remarkable storyteller, but also a keen observer and commentator on the socio-political and cultural realities of contemporary India. His major works include The Men Who Killed Gandhi, A Bend in the Ganges, Spy in Amber, Comb at of sorry, it will be Combat of Shadows, The Garland Keepers, The Seahawk, Shalimar, very important, The Princess, Cactus Country, Distant Drum, Bandicoot Run, and The Devil's Wind. The Distant Drum, The Distant Drum is a work that focuses on army life and soldiers. Combat of Shadows, it was published in 1962. It is a story of an Englishman who lived in India. The Princess, this story is very important because it is an account of an Indian prince. It's a very personal favorite of mine. He tells of his family, the family of his autocratic, extravagant father, the Maharaja, and of his own brief rule before Indian independence. So it's kind of an not autobiographical, but autobiographical account of that prince, kind of. It is a very good, very important literary work. Then, A Bend in the Ganges. It is very important from the net point of view because this is a partition novel. This is a partition novel which has three main protagonists. Number one, Gyan Talwar. Number two, Debi Dayal. And number three, Shafi Usman. So, Gyan Talwar, Debi Dayal, and Shafi Usman. The character of Gyan Talwar was influenced by Gandhian philosophy of non-violence. And this work, A Bend in the Ganges, is very important again because its epigraph is taken from the Ramayana. So what was the epigraph? At a bend in the Ganges, they paused to take a look at the land they were leaving. So if I am going too fast, just slow down the video, slow down the playback speed, and note down in your notebook whatever you need to feel like noting down. This novel, I'm discussing this novel at length because this is very important, as I'm again and again repeating. So it begins with the civil disobedience movement and ends with the partition riots in Punjab. So a question might come that which novel of Manohar Malgonka is a partition novel? So it is A Bend in the Ganges. Then we have Spy in Amber, which is an espionage thriller. We have The Devil's Wind. The Devil's Wind is the name that the sepoy gave to the mutiny. The sepoys gave to the mutiny, and it is a historical novel that tells the story of Nana Sahib, the hail of the descendant, the heir of the last Peshwa of the Maratha Confederacy. So, The Devil's Wind is also very important from the historical point of view. Moving on, we have Nirad C. Chaudhuri. Nirad C. Chaudhuri is a very interesting personality. Nirad C. Chaudhuri said, well, this was a question in some previous year net, that which author said that Rudyard Kipling's Kim is the finest novel in English language with an Indian theme? It was Nirad C. Chaudhuri. Nirad C. Chaudhuri, it's a little trivia about him, is that he failed the MA examination in history in Calcutta University. Then he was appointed as a clerk. Then he started writing his masterpiece, which is the autobiography of an unknown Indian, when he was 53. So it was written in his 50s. Chaudhuri, he was the first Indian to have received Duff Cooper Memorial Award for his work. His other works are The Passage to England. So if the question comes, The Passage to England is written by, don't say E.M. Forster, because that is a passage to India. The Passage to England is written by Nirad C. Chaudhuri. The Intellectual in India, To Leave or Not to Leave, Culture in a Vanity Bag, Clive of India. These are very, very important literary works produced by Nirad C. Chaudhuri. Another very important work that is named Thy Hand Great Anarch. You can guess that the title is taken from the Dunshed. The Dunshed, Thy Hand Great Anarch, lets the curtain fall, and universal darkness buries all. This was a line of the poem, and the title is taken from the Dunshed. Who wrote the Dunshed? Yes, Alexander Pope. This was also an autobiographical essay, which was kind of a sequel to the autobiography of an unknown Indian. Another trivia is that Nirad C. Chaudhuri died at the age of 101. Quickly moving on, Habib Tanvir. Habib Tanvir is a very important Indian contemporary playwright, also a theatre director as well as a great poet and actor. Habib Tanvir is an eminent figure in the folk theatre, and he is prominently known for works with Chhattisgarhi tribes. So, a question might come that among the following authors, who is connected to Chhattisgarhi tribes? That is Habib Tanvir. He was an author who was sorry honored with both Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan, and his important works include Charandas Chor, Agra Bazar, and Pachrangi. Moving on, Mohan Rakesh. Mohan Rakesh was one of the essential personalities in shaping up the modern Indian theatre and a key figure in the Naya Kahani or the new story movement that happened in the premise of Hindi literature in the 1950s. He wrote the play Asad Ka Ek Din in 1958. In 1968, he was awarded Sangeet Natok Academy Award. His important works include Adhe Adhure, Lehron Ka Ranjas, Pairo Tale Zameen. So this is also a very important figure in Indian literary scenario, contemporary, from the net point of view. Moving on, Janice Pariat. Janice Pariat is an Indian poet and writer, and she's Assamese and grew up in Shillong, Meghalaya. When it comes to the literature, a literary body of Northeast India, Janice Pariat is a very, very important figure. His seminal works include Boats on Land, Seahorse, and The Nine-Chambered Hut. Boats on Land is a collection of short stories. Recent days, Nate is focusing a lot on very unfamiliar collection of short stories and single short stories and essays and stuff like that. Like, they will just name it. Boats on Land is the name of a collection of short stories, a collection of essays, travelogues, or a novel. So if you don't have an idea, you have to guess. But if you keep yourself updated with these things, you might, you might come across questions that are familiar. You don't have to guess them. You can just mark them with confidence. Next, Arun Joshi, my personal favorite. Arun Joshi was an Indian writer. He won Sahitya Academy Award for his masterpiece, The Last Labyrinth, which was published in 1982. His works mainly focused on the characters who are urban, English speaking, but they're deeply disturbed mentally, psychologically. They're disturbed. They find something, they are in search of some psychological solace, but they end up being miserable. His writing, like The Strange Case of Billy Biswas, The Apprentice, these are masterpieces, and it is really sad that Arun Joshi did not get the recognition that he deserved and still deserves. There was a very good article that I read when I was preparing for UGC NET. Um, Probably it was in New York Times or the Guardian. I don't really remember. The title of the article is "The Strange Case of Arun Joshi," which is referring to his masterpiece, "The Strange Case of Billy Biswas," and I would recommend that essay for you all to read it. It's a beautiful essay, an article rather. Well, his novels have very unusual characters, and according to one commentator, I love this quotation. To I mean, that's why I mentioned it here. The shallowness of middle class society is not for him a point of rhetoric intended to show off his own enlightened superiority, but a theme to be explored with actual concern. His novel, The Foreigner, which was published in 1953, has the protagonist called Sindhi Oberoi. And he shows the detachment from the world, much like the stranger, the stranger, similar to that character of Musealt in The Stranger. Cindy goes to many places: Kenya, Uganda, England, America, and India. So, what are the places that the main character of The Foreigner by Arun Joshi visits? This can be a very valid question in net, and the answers will be Kenya, Uganda, England, America, India. The question might be framed like that: which is the country that the protagonist of The Foreigner does not visit? Okay, so you see, these questions are framed like that, and if you know the masterpieces, if you are updated with these things, you will be easily able to answer them. And smart guess, smart elimination is also important. The Strange Case of Billy Biswas. Billy here is Bimal. Bimal is interested in anthropology and the life of tribals. So one day he goes to the tribal area and he suddenly goes missing. Okay. So yeah, that is all about Billy Biswas. Then we have The Last Labyrinth, which is for which Arun Joshi won the Sahitya Academy Award. Here we have the protagonist called Som Bhaskar. Som Bhaskar, who has a lot of desires. He always is like, I want this, I want that, and stuff like that. We have other characters like Aftab, Anuradha, and Gargi. Arun Joshi's another work is The City and the River. The City and the River is a political fable. The political fable, like the City Mouse and the Country Mouse, the Country and the City by Raymond Williams. It's like The City and the River. It was published in 1990, which depicts a philosophical search towards an understanding of the meaning of all power structure. It is deeply political and kind of a political fable which searches for an understanding of the meaning of all power structures. Next, Devdutt Pattanaik. Devdutt Pattanaik, I have pasted a website link for you here, which is Pattanaik's own website where he regularly uploads blogs and other informations. Very interesting, very, very interesting, very graphical that website is. So you may visit the website if you want. He is an eminent Indian mythologist who has a passion for retailing these mythologies from different points of views. He has written books on the relevance of sacred stories, symbols, and rituals in modern times. So, standing in the modern times, he tries to discover alternative perspectives in the traditional, age-old mythical stories, fairy tales, folk tales. His very popular books include Myth Equal to Mithya. Myth Equal to Mithya. So you can see the wordplay here. Another very important book is A Handbook of Hindu Mythology, Jaya, an illustrated retelling of the Mahabharata. Jaya, you know, another name of Draupadi. Sita, an illustrated retelling of the Ramayana, and My Gita. These are the most important works by Devdutt Pattanaik. Moving on, Manju Kapur. Manju Kapur's seminal work is her first work, that is Difficult Daughters, for which she won the 1999 Commonwealth Writers Prize. Her other works include A Married Woman, Home, The Immigrant, Custody, Shaping the World, Women Writers on Themselves, and Brothers. Last but not the least, Pankaj Mishra, who is a very, very important essayist in modern India, and he's very important from SET point of view and also NET point of view, because in SET there have been questions from this author. So he's a contemporary Indian essayist and novelist. His important works are India in Mind, Temptations of the West, How to be Modern in India, Pakistan, Tibet, and Beyond. From the Ruins of Empire, this is very, very important. The Intellectuals Who Remade Asia. So there might be questions like, so you need to read the subtitles also, okay? Because there might be questions like, what is the subtitle of the essay From the Ruins of Empire? It is the Intellectuals Who Remade Asia. A Great Clamor, Encounters with China and its Neighbor. So I would say that mnemonics are very important in this case. If you don't have to memorize it. Suppose A Great Clamor, you need to remember the subtitle. Will you memorize it like Encounters with China and its Neighbors, Encounters with China and its Neighbor? No, you will just make an association with the words like Great Clamor. Clamor is a kind of sound. Sound is made when two things collide. So China and his neighbors collide, and that is the clamor. So A Great Clamor, the subtitle should be the one where China is there and the neighbors, these words are there, and you will remember like that. Age of Anger, A History of the Present. Blunt Fanatics, Liberals, Race, and Empire. So these were 10 very important writers, very recent writers and earlier writers who are not very much talked about. Thank you so much for watching. There are many more important writers. I am just giving a hint of what, in what way you should study. There are a lot other contemporary writers as well, you know. So you need to dig this up, you need to research on your own, you need to note it down, and you need to study a lot. So please like, comment if you have any queries, share it with your friends, and if you know the aspirants of NET, and subscribe to my channel. Remember, you have to study a lot for NET. You also have to know what not to study, and you also have to know what are the things that many people skip, but you have to study. This is the key for JRF. I followed this. I got NET with JRF, and I'm recommending all the things that have helped me getting NET with JRF. So I hope you will be helped if you just listen to me, not blindly. Not blindly. You will listen to me, you will take notes from my slides, but you will research on your own. As I always say, research on your own and make your own notes. Thank you so much. I will meet you all in my next video. Bye.